But then when I started learning about the spiritual experiences, the saints were saying that it was possible to maintain this sort of, again, this transcendental euphoric happiness, possible to keep it going. And so much so that it always would be flowing through my being, and that even if really tough times would hit, that river of happiness would just keep going. And then that became the purpose of my life. And I laugh because it's so joyful. Like, since then, even with all the sort of highly difficult times that I've had, what was that, age 30, right? So between now and then, 15 years. 15 years of literally like up and down, extreme up and downs, getting really angry, getting really sad, getting really angry. It's like this whole crazy fluctuation, but all in the meantime, intensely trying to get back to that transcendental happiness, because all the saints were saying it was possible that I could hold on to it. So I'm still doing that even now. Why am I talking about this? There's no other reason that I'm talking about this except for my own personal experience. And I can't make anyone have this experience. I can't just be, what is that in Cinderella? The fairy godmother would tap her on the head, and then suddenly she'd be dressed in like these fancy ball clothes, and then she'd be riding this, I don't know, turned like from a pumpkin into like a carriage, right? And then suddenly she was all fancy and ready to go to the ball and then meet the prince and so on and so forth. It's not like that. I wish that we could do that so people could have the real experience. Then we probably would have like hundreds of people coming to this gathering instead of just a handful, because it'd be so easy. But I'm telling you, God doesn't make it so easy. You ask, like, why doesn't God make it easier for humans to transcend into the high bliss realms? Why does that have to be so hard? Why do we have to go through so much work? Why do we have to attend these gatherings and try to tune and concentrate our mind? Like, why so much work? And then, saints say, oh, you have to go through lifetimes of doing this. Why so many lifetimes? Why? And you know why?
Why?
It's because we dug our own hole. We dug it ourselves. This isn't God's fault. It's like, God, geez. It's like blaming this sort of higher power for us now having to crawl out of this pit of misery just to like breathe and get some happiness that's beyond our senses and our mind. We dug the hole. In previous lifetimes, we decided that, these physical, eating Krispy Kreme donuts is way better than meditating. I'm just going to do that. And, so we get tricked, probably is the best word. And not necessarily that God tricks us, but we, in a sense, put the blinders on, because everyone knows not to eat Krispy Kreme donuts every day. And yet we do it, metaphorically speaking. We keep eating the same things because it tastes good, because we get the high. You don't get the immediate effect from a meditation. People came here again, and let's say, you get this sort of super high, magnificent experience, like eating a Krispy Kreme donut. Maybe more people would come, but it's not like that. You have to keep coming. You have to keep attuning. And usually, bit by bit, you start to resonate at a different frequency and start to feel, quote unquote, higher states of consciousness. Krispy Kreme, you get the immediate effect. So, over all these other previous lifetimes, we were choosing the immediate gratification over the work that it takes to crawl out of the body, mind, human, animal tendencies.